Hello everyone, this is Tribe Fan here again, giving the final recap of the 1971 Vida Blue Strat Super Advanced Replay. I'd like to thank you all for watching through all these videos. And once again, if you're a new subscriber and you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you'll be notified when my next video comes out. Alright, and in this video we will be recapping the final 6 starts of Vida Blue's season. And we'll start with Game 34 at Metropolitan Stadium against the Twins. Ray Corbin started for the Twins in this game. And at the top of the first, Dwayne Anderson and Joe Rudy back-to-back singles put runners on first and second. And then Reggie Jackson with an RBI double scores Anderson to put the A's up 1-0. In the top of the second, Vida Blue with 2 outs, singles to shortstop. And then and goes to second on a Braun error. And then 2 batters later, Joe Rudy with an RBI single puts the A's up 2-0. Adrian Garrett and Sal Bando would walk with the bases loaded to make it 4-0 later in the inning. And then in the top of the third, Duncan with a leadoff walk. Blue sacrifices him to second. And then Dwayne Anderson with an RBI single makes it 5-0. And that would be all for Corbin. He gives up 4 runs and 9 hits over 3 innings. And then the A's would get their runs in the bottom of the 5th. They loaded the bases, and then Cesar Tovar with a 2-run single makes it 5-2, and that's your final. Blue gets the win, gives up 2 runs over 8 innings, striking out 9. All right, the next start is at Oakland, and it's against Clyde Wright and the Angels. Of course, Clyde would later have his son Jarrett play for the Indians. In the top of the second, Jim Spencer hits the ball over the center field wall to make it 1-0 Angels. In the bottom of the A's come right back in the bottom half of the second one with 2 outs. Angel Manuel scores on a George Hendrick double to tie the game at 1. And then in the top of the 8th, Jim Spencer with a leadoff walk, Tommy Reynolds and Jeff Torborg would single to load the bases, and then Clyde Wright lays down a perfect suicide squeeze bunt with the bases loaded. And that made it 2-1, and a wild pitch would later score the 3rd run, and that's your ball game. The Angels win 3-1. Wright goes 8 innings, giving up 6 hits and 1 run, striking out 4. Blue went the distance, giving up 3 runs on 4 hits and striking out 12. All right. And then for the next start, we go back to Oakland, and the Twins go to Oakland. And Jim Perry starts for the Twins, but he would not have a good day. In the top half of the first, Rick Monday with a solo home run. In the bottom half of the second, Angel Manuel and Dave Duncan single put runners on first and second. They move up a base when Perry uncorks a wild pitch. Dick Green hits the ball to medium deep center field, but it's deep enough to score Manuel on a sacrifice fly. And then Vida Blue hits one down the line, and it rattles around, and Blue ends up on third with a triple, which scores Duncan. Blue would score on the next batter when Bert Campaneris hits a single. And then, as Jerry Ball has mentioned on many chats, the pride of Arizona State, Rick Monday, with his 2nd home run of the day, a 2-run homer down the right field line, giving him 3 RBIs on the day and making it 6-0. The Twins got a couple runs in the top half of the 7th. Rod Carew and Cesar Tovar with RBI singles made it 6-2. Blue went the distance, giving up 2 runs on 9 hits and striking out 10. All right, the next game is at Milwaukee against Marty Patton, who sadly passed away this year. In the bottom half of the first, Tommy Harper with a leadoff double. He scores on a Dave May single to make it 1-0. And then a couple batters later, Roberto Pena singles home Andy Costco to make it 2-0. But this game was all Marty Patton. I was getting excited because I had the perfect game going into the 8th inning, but we pinch hit Gene Tennis for Blefary, and Gene Tennis with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th hits a 2-out single. The only other hit was a Bert Campaneris single in the top half of the 9th, and that would be all. Patton goes a distance, giving up those 2 hits, not allowing a run and striking out 7. Blue would go 8 innings, giving up 2 runs on 8 hits and striking out only 4. All right, in the next to last start, his 38th of the season was against Tom Bradley at home against the White Sox. And in the bottom of the first, Campaneris with a leadoff single. He stole second, and then Tom Egan threw the ball into center field, and Campaneris scooted over to third. And then Blefary with a single following makes it 1-0. And it was almost deja vu in the bottom half of the third. Campaneris tripled, Blefary singles him home. And then Blefary would later score on a double play ball to make it 3-0. In the bottom half of the 5th, Reggie Jackson and Tommy Davis single to put runners on first and third. And then Rick Monday hits the ball to Rich McKinney, who bobbles and then throws the ball wild to first, pulling May off the bag with an error. Jackson scores, make it 3-0. Blefary with his, in the bottom half of the 7th, with his 3rd hit of the day, going 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs with a solo home run. And that's it for Bradley. They'd have a reliever come in, and he gave up a solo home run to Tommy Davis to make it 5-0. Walt Williams hit a solo home run on the top of the 8th, and then Egan would sort of had a little modicum of revenge, hitting a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 8th. Blue would get the win, going 8 innings, not the distance, giving up a run on 5 hits, striking out 11, and then Bradley with a loss, giving up 4 runs over 6 1/3. And now the final start of the season against Jim Lockwood in the Brewers in Oakland. This game was all A's. In the bottom of the 3rd, Dave Duncan walked, Dick Green singled, Blue laid down a sacrifice bunt to move him to 2nd and 3rd. Campaneris walked to load the bases, and then Joe Rudy dribbles one past the infield to score Duncan and make it 1-0. Jackson hits a sacrifice fly to score Green to make it 2-0. And then we go to the bottom of the 7th, where the final A's scoring would, actually not the final A's scoring. Duncan leads off with a walk. He goes to 2nd on a ground out, and he scores on a Vida Blue triple, make it 3-0. Blue would score on a passed ball to make it 4-0. The A's would actually score another run in the 8th to make it 5-0. And that's your final. Blue gets the win, giving up 2 hits over 8 innings, walking 1 and striking out 11. I was trying to actually go for the exact innings. However, I ended up being 1/3 of an inning short due to some poor math. So here, since this is the final one, here are the real stats. The real stats were Blue went 24-8. For some reason, he went 3 out of his last 4 starts were no decisions. He went 312 innings, giving up 209 hits, 88 walks, 301 strikeouts with a 1.82 ERA, 24 complete games, and 8 shutouts. Now, I didn't have as many no decisions, so I'm going to have a little bit more in the win and loss total. In my replay, I only had 3 no decisions total. So Blue went 27-9. I went 311 2/3 innings pitched. I was trying to hit that number right on the dot, and I would have had to let him get 1 more out. Gave up 203 hits. Walked a little bit more. He gave up 95 walks. Couldn't quite get to 300 strikeouts. He had 296 with a 1.88 ERA. He had 20 complete games and 7 shutouts. All right, well, that closes the book on that pitcher replay. It's the 3rd I've done. I did as I've mentioned in previous videos, I did a Ferguson Jenkins 1971 replay, and then did a Corey Kluber and Rick Porcello 2016 replay as well. If you want to see those, I think Earl might still have a pitcher replay Facebook page and that. All right, well, as many of you know, we're heading into the latter months of 2018. And it's sort of my little bridge between getting stuff ready for my next season replay and, to kill some time. I think I saw in baseball rumors there were 81 former players who passed away this year. I think the most notables were Rusty Staub and Willie McCovey. However, there were also two not former Indians. One was a former Indian. One was a first base coach during their glory years in the 90s. Now, I want to play a few of these games, and I want to really do Dave Nelson, who was the first base coach for the Indians in their glory years in the 90s, and then Tito Francona, Terry's dad, although he also played for the Indians, passed away this year, and I want to play a in memoriam game for them. And then I might actually put them against Gene Stick Michael, who actually passed away this year, sadly. And then I really want to play the Rusty Staub and Willie McCovey games. Now, I may put these on Facebook. I might not on YouTube. I will most definitely post these on Facebook. Let me know what you think. I'll be glad to post them if you guys want them. Leave some comments if you would. And also, if you could hit that like button, that would be greatly appreciated. All right, I will let you know what the next full season project is. I will kind of drop a hint and say that I have not done a full season replay for 2016. So, yeah, I will probably be doing something with that season. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. And until next time, whatever game you're playing, may your dice be lively and your rolls be good.